I like started posting on TikTok, that did really well all of a sudden. After it was a slow burn to get to 1,000 followers, but then one video I posted of me in the mirror,
Mhm.
and like I remember it hitting like 2,000 views, and I was like, "What's happening? Like this is amazing." And then like by the end of the night, it was at like 500,000 views, and I stayed up all night like responding to every single comment until it told me I couldn't anymore.
No
And that
way.
was that was the moment, and then from then on, it's been incredible, absolutely
S
incredible.
Hi, Isabella, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, it's lovely to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited to get to know your story and talk about the EP. I think you have a record. Your song's coming out tomorrow too, right?
Yes, yeah, it's out in Australia already, actually. Very
Oh, it
exciting.
is. Wow. Are you in Australia?
No, 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 no. But
Okay.
it's local release, so it's coming out at midnight in every country, so it's
that
already out,
is
so I'm waiting for the US now.
that is awesome. So cool. Yeah, I've heard the record. I had your team send it over to me. It's an awesome song.
Thank you.
Um, but yeah, I didn't see it. I was like, "What? Really?" I was looking on your Spotify, but I guess maybe they're smart enough to know that I don't live in Australia. So, but very, very nice to meet you. This is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the song coming out and everything else. I think you have an EP, I believe, as well.
I do, yes, in September,
Awesome.
very soon.
Cool.
Very
Sorry, go ahead.
No, 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 I just said very exciting, you're all good.
Rad. So first off, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in London.
Wow.
My parents are both American, so I've got the American accent, but they came over to London right before I was born, and I lived there pretty much my whole life until I was about 19.
Really? And you never picked up the accent?
Well, I when I was in, like, primary school, I was at a British school, and I
Okay.
did a lot of dance and acting outside of school, so I was very much immersed in British accents. So what I would do is I would speak in a British accent at school, and then I'd come home and flip to the American accent. So I would just
Interesting.
it was yeah, it was very silly, and then when we'd have birthday parties, we'd have my parents and my friends present, so I was, like, in this weird transatlantic accent moment, but it was funny growing up with both accents just because it happened kind of naturally and like, subconsciously.
Yeah,
For
so you weren't trying to go home and not speak with the accent. It just
sure.
happened because you're around your parents who didn't have the accent?
Just adapted.
That's wild. Interesting. Yeah, one of my really good friends growing up, his brother is like 4 years older, and he was born in Brussels, and then my buddy was born in, Singapore, of all places, which is random,
Oh,
but then they
nice.
moved to the US, and he doesn't have the accent at all, but both of his parents and his brother do.
I love that.
It's so
Oh,
wild,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so
So,
cool how that works. It's all
yeah,
your surroundings.
that's so interesting. So, okay, so you grew up really in London. Are you in London now?
I'm in the States because my family's kind of half back and forth, and I'm at school at NYU right now, so I'm still kind of
Wow,
planted in the States at the moment, but I do love London and I go back all the time, so
that's awesome. So you're
yeah.
currently at NYU. You go to school
Yes.
there?
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations, that's
Thank
huge.
you.
Do you go to uh, the
Clive?
music school? Yeah, Clive Davis.
Yes, the Clive Davis Institute, and I love it. It's really
That's
awesome. I'm
awesome.
majoring in recorded music and getting to do everything that I wanna do outside of school, inside school grounds, and that's the dream.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you get into music? I mean, it sounds like you're into acting and all of that as a young child anyway, but do you come from a musical family, creative household at all?
No, creative to an extent, but not musical. My dad's side of the family can't find a beat to save their life. And my mom's side of the family, they're more creative. My uncle's an artist. My mom did a bit of dance when she was younger. But I music really came out of nowhere for me and something I was interested in.
Mhm.
I was always surrounded by music though, my parents were always playing music. My mom would play stuff in the car on the radio, and my dad would introduce me to like Rod Stewart and Sheryl Crow and like all these random different people like on the iPod. And my mom was burning Disney CDs and like, it was very much a musical environment, but no one was kind of there as like a mentor figure. Um,
Mhm.
but I was pretty much singing from the moment I could talk. Um,
Okay.
and I entertained myself. I would just sing on my own and like I would fall asleep and I would just be sitting and singing in my room. My mom would come and knock on my door and be like, okay, go to bed. So it was just something that I naturally wanted to do. And then they put me in dance classes when I was like straight out of potty training, like 2 years old.
Wow.
And I like was surrounded by classical music and dance and just, you know, enjoying music from that perspective, I think also just really filled my life with that genre in a
Mhm.
way that I think slightly influences things now. Um, but yeah, I grew up dancing and listening to music, and it just kind of naturally happened that way, and thank God everyone's supportive of it, and yeah,
Right, I was gonna say, that's
lucky
amazing that your
that
parents supported it, right?
yeah,
And then put
yeah,
you in dance
mm,
at a young age.
yeah.
Did you do chorus or vocal lessons or anything like that when you were young
I
as
did a
well?
lot of choir. I was part of, I did a lot of vocal lessons before I joined choir, but I was in this really cool choir in London called Capital Children's Choir. And we just got to do the most incredible things. I mean, part of it is the fact that you're in London, but it was run
Mhm.
by this amazing choir director who she got us in the coolest shows. We got to sing with Paul McCartney. We got to
No
record on, like,
way.
soundtracks. We got, like it was just unbelievable, like, amazing experiences, and all of that. It was very technical vocally, and everyone was just excited to be a part of a group of people singing. It's the most amazing feeling when you're all perfectly in sync singing.
Sure.
Um, that yeah, I grew up kind of doing that kind of stuff, and that's all thanks to my parents, 100%.
Wow. Okay, so I'm curious about the singing with Paul McCartney, but do you have to like audition to get into this? I would
Yeah,
imagine get into this thing, right?
yeah, I remember sending in a few. I mean, anyone could join, but then when you actually have to do the performances and stuff, you send in your auditions and, um, we did so many different things, and there were different opportunities for solo artists and for, harmonies and, just all these different pieces. There were kids that
Mhm.
were, 7 and there were kids that were 18, and everyone there just was really excited to do their part,
Mhm.
and that was kind of the whole purpose of the choir. But the Paul McCartney thing was unbelievable. It was at the O2, and,
Wow.
do you know the song "Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas
Oh
Time"?
yeah, I do.
So there's a little
That's my
bit of
favorite Christmas
choir.
song, and a lot of
It's
people,
so good. It's
yeah,
so good. And
it's a
I
great
totally
one.
see it differently now too, like, I just love it, it's my favorite. But there's, like, a little part with the little choir singing, like, the ding dong, ding dong.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was us, and so we would just we all walked on wearing our little Paul McCartney T-shirts, and we, like, sang our little bit and then walked back off, and it's so funny. It's so funny.
No
Yeah.
way. Oh my gosh. Wow. Did you get to meet him after or anything?
Yeah, before on the sound
Oh,
check, he's
before?
the sweetest man ever.
I
Yeah,
heard.
so
I've had a couple people on this podcast that went to his school in
uh-huh.
Liverpool. He is like a music school there.
Yeah.
And I think like you audition or there's a class where if you get to a certain point, like you get to present your song to Paul McCartney. He's like sitting there and then he like will give you some notes or something on your song. I was just
I
like, I
think I've
couldn't
heard
even
of that.
imagine.
It's
Oh,
unbelievable. No, and he's
yeah.
so cool, like, we came out to the sound check, and he's just playing his bass, and he's talking to the kids, and he shook every single one of our hands, like, it was really special.
How old were you when you got the opportunity to do that?
I wanna say I was older, I was, like, 15, I wanna
Okay.
say, 15 or 16. I was on the older end, I was getting ready to leave.
Older, 15.
Yeah.
But oh man, my dad would like have a heart attack. Did your parents get to
I
meet him?
did. No, no, they didn't. They couldn't
Oh
even get
man.
tickets.
No way.
I know.
That's crazy.
It was
They
so
didn't even
funny.
get to see you
And
sing then? They just
No,
drop you off like,
but
"Sorry."
we
You're like,
found
"I'm."
videos and stuff online, so that was all good. I'm
Oh,
sure you can find
man.
it if you do a deep dive.
I'm going
Um,
to after
my
this. This is
my
crazy.
younger brother was also in it. He was, like, I wanna say, like, 10.
And they didn't
It
even
yeah,
like, send either of
yeah.
your parents? Like, e with 2 kids? No? Oh my
But we
god.
did get our little moment on the billboard, so in the videos, you can kind of see us up behind, so they got to see it a little bit.
That's awesome. Wow, wow. So your brother's a musician as well then? Or he
I mean,
sang?
he was in the choir when he was younger. He's he's gonna be totally embarrassed if he sees this, but he sings really well. He
Oh,
can find a harmony really well. It's very impressive. And he did a bit of dance growing up and stuff, but his passion's in soccer, so he's done with
okay.
that.
He's
But
over the music,
very
okay.
talented, yeah.
So you are in this choir and you're doing and like 15, 16. At that point, were you also in like the school choir or did you do the band or did you play an instrument or anything like that as well?
Did I played flute in the band. I haven't talked about this ever. I played flute in the band for, like, 8 years in
Wow.
school, and I'm not that good. I'm, like, not good enough for 8 years. Like, I shouldn't be saying that. I should be saying, like, 2 years. But,
Whenever somebody says that they're not good, they're probably like you're
no,
probably
I
so good.
promise.
It's like, oh, I'm not that good. And like just
No, 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 no. I'll take singing, but I can't take flute. But
you're not like
it's
Lizzo, just gonna bust it
no,
out.
no, maybe someday, maybe I'll practice more, but I haven't played in years, but I really loved playing in the band. Again, there's something so special about that group
Mhm.
of people just together and everything just, like, feels great, when you get it right and everyone's, like, working together as a team. It's just such an amazing feeling, and so flute, I loved doing that. I did that every other day in school for 8 years, since 5th grade all the way through
Wow.
senior year. Um, Nothing to show for it though.
Did you also like? I know you have a massive social media presence, but aside from that, I mean, like, were you going and doing like cover songs or writing your own music in high school or around that time as well, or no?
I grew up, like, writing songs, as silly as they probably sounded when I was a kid, and as much as I definitely ripped off High School Musical,
Got
I
to
was
start
writing
somewhere.
from, like yeah, I was writing from, like, a young age, but 10 years old was kind of when I decided to really start writing,
Hmm.
properly about, like, things about myself and, that autobiographical approach to songwriting really started then,
At
um
10, that's so young.
and well,
I have
I
an 8-year-old son, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around like 2 years him autobiography,
a lot
thinking
changes
like
for me. Yeah.
inside and then writing about it. It's like what?
No, no, no. Well, it's kind of like it was a way to kind of deal with feelings and, going into middle school, there's so many
Oh
feelings.
yeah,
But
middle school is the
yeah.
worst.
Oh, yeah. Middle school and,
Literally
like,
the
early
worst.
high school, not where it's at. And I'm trying not to forget that because, I wanna be able to hold on to that for the rest of my life and remember that so when I talk to teenagers when I'm 30 years old, I'm not like, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine."
You could just tell 'em how much it sucked when you were in middle
Yeah,
school.
no, understand
You're
and
in
to,
the
like,
worst years of your
empathize.
life, kids.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I went to see a Taylor Swift concert when I was 9, turning 10,
Okay,
and
love
it was
her.
Gillette Stadium, the Red Tour, and
Okay.
we were, like, in nosebleeds, we weren't close to the stage, and I just remember looking and thinking, "That's what I wanna do, like, this is what I wanna do with my life." And so I went home and I wrote my first song, and that was, like, first real song, and that was where it kind of all started, um, in terms of writing my own music, and I was always covering other people's music, and
Mhm.
I learned to play guitar when I was, like, 8-ish, so I was able to kind of do that between guitar and piano, but
And
then
flute. So you played guitar, piano, and the flute? Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
a little bit yeah, enough to, like, get by, like, I'm not a piano player, nor am I, like, capable of anything classical on the guitar, but, like,
You could
enough
play
to be able to
chords
write
and
and play
yeah.
chords and cover it yeah, exactly, um, which really came in handy, and I also like, I wanted to be able to record it too. So when I was around 12, downloaded GarageBand, or I found
Nice.
GarageBand, I think it's pre-downloaded.
Yeah.
And I whipped out this is horrible. I whipped out my, like, you know, the Apple earbuds that they give you when you buy a product?
Yeah, with
That
the
like
little
plug in with
microphone
the
on it.
tiny little microphone? That's
Mhm.
the mic that I was using to record.
No
So I was
way.
recording directly into the computer with that microphone, playing guitar and vocals. I think I left the metronome in when I bounced it out, like, it was really, like, early stages, but I really just wanted to be able to do it myself. So I kind of from songwriting, I was like, "I wanna be able to record it," so then that's whenever I started producing. Um,
Wow.
and
So
then
that young, you were just trying to figure it out.
yeah, I just wanted to do it, and I didn't wanna have to wait to learn from other people and stuff like that. I just wanted to kind of hands in and go for it. So
Did you YouTube it all? Like, look up
a
how
little
to
bit,
do it on
yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah. Thankfully, GarageBand's pretty easy to figure out, and I'm not
Yeah.
great at, like, reading directions. I'm a
Okay.
person that just, like, tries it, and so I would go in and just explore, and when I'd mess something up, that's when I'd go to YouTube,
YouTube
but
or something.
yeah. But
Wow.
eventually moved on from GarageBand, thankfully, which is why
Okay.
I've
Um,
Yeah.
that's so fascinating. So, when did you get your first guitar? Were you 8, 9 years old?
I was about 8 or 9, yeah, I can't remember exactly, it was for Christmas, and it was
Okay.
this pink electric guitar, and it was the happiest day of my life.
Do you still have it?
Loved it, I do, yeah, it's in
That's
London,
awesome.
yeah.
That is awesome. I know, I
Never
still have the first guitar I had too. I'm not good at all. I can play chords, same thing, but, yeah, but I still kept the thing for some reason. It's like, if it ever met, for whatever
Yeah,
reason, maybe my kid will want it one year, but,
yeah, exactly,
that's
and it's
so cool.
sentimental, it's sweet, yeah.
Yeah. So you were doing the garage band thing, and with that song you recorded, were you, like, showing your parents, like, "Oh my gosh, look what I made," or was it
I
a
was putting it
s
on SoundCloud, like,
Oh, really?
thankfully,
You're going all
it's
in.
not there anymore, it's not there anymore,
You should
thankfully.
pull it back up. Why not?
I should one day we'll bring it back. But yeah, I was putting it on SoundCloud, and around that time was also when I started social media. So I was quite late to the Instagram game. I think a lot of kids got it right when Instagram kind of started.
Mhm.
Um, I downloaded it a few years later and I was like, I'm gonna use it for music. Like this is what I'm gonna do. And so created a SoundCloud account, started posting on that, posting on social media. Um, and then that's kind of when the social media journey started too, of,
Okay.
like, once I started getting good feedback and people were saying that they liked it, I was like, "Wait, there's something in this, I could do this." Um, and so I started doing, like, more covers and stuff like that just to kind of broaden the audience and try new things, and that was the start of the journey. It all went from there.
What so it started on Instagram then? That was where you really
Yes.
began?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
and it's Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you have it was it just posting all the time and then eventually people started to follow your page, or was
Yeah,
it just
kind
kinda like
of.
a slow organic thing that you had? Or did you have a moment where you did a cover and it, like, blew up or something like that?
There were a couple moments. So when I was really young and I started that was kind of the slow burn part. I was,
Mhm.
using crazy numbers of hashtags and sending it to those like singing pages that would feature different people and like, you know, most of
Mhm.
them you had to pay for. So I was like not, I was like, never mind, this isn't working. Kind of took a little break after a while and then COVID hit. And I was like, okay, this is my time. This I was going nuts. Like I hadn't gone outside in like 6 weeks. It was crazy in London. And so I just decided to pour my energy into that project and that's when I started doing these covers. I called them covers for quarantine. Those still are up on YouTube.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I've seen some of those. I didn't know that that's
so
how
it's
early
so
you
fun.
started. Wow.
Yeah, and it was just like a fun project and it gave me something to do and it also gave me like a schedule of consistent posting and a bit more accountability and that's kind of Instagram went like this and I started experimenting with like different Facebook advertising and stuff like that as well and trying to like hone in on like a marketing plan because at that point I was also recording music. I had already recorded my own stuff like properly in a
Mhm.
studio.
Oh, you had?
So I
Okay.
was yeah, so I was trying to kind of, like, build an audience to put music out. That was always the purpose.
Mhm.
And covers were the best way to do that, and then I would also kind of sprinkle in the occasional original just to like, "Hey, I've heard my own music." But um TikTok was really where it kicked off.
Ye Okay.
That was the moment for me, and I was so angry with the app when I start like, right before it went like this, I was, like, really not doing well, and so it started when I posted the first video and it got more views than I was expecting, and I was like, "Oh, this is totally different than any other app that I've been on, like, I have 0 followers and I got 600 views, this is amazing."
Okay.
And so
So this is the first video you sign up for TikTok. This is during the quarantine and all that
this
stuff,
is
2020?
quarantine,
Okay.
2020, or maybe
And
even 2021 at this point.
are
Um,
you in high school still at that time or no?
I
Are you
had
out?
taken a gap year. I had
Okay.
taken a gap year, so I was, like, mid gap year, and
So you had
that
graduated already from
I
high
had just
school.
graduated, yeah,
Okay, and
and
then so
so
you graduated before COVID,
right on the cusp
kind
of
of.
COVID, I didn't get a
Okay.
graduation. Yeah,
No way. You got
yeah.
robbed of that? That
I did.
sucks.
It was rough.
Oh
And I'll
my
circle
gosh.
back to that story because that's a really great story too of just, like, the path that I was on. But I, like, started posting on TikTok, that did really well all of a sudden. After it was a slow burn to get to 1,000 followers, but then one video I posted of me in the mirror,
Mhm.
and, like, I remember it hitting, like, 2,000 views, and I was like, "What's happening? Like, this is amazing." And then, like, by the end of the night, it was at, like, 500,000 views, and I stayed up all night, like, responding to every single comment until it told me I couldn't anymore.
No
And
way.
that was the moment, and then from then on, it's been incredible, absolutely
S
incredible.
Okay, so what was that video? Was it a cover song or was it one of
That
your
was
own?
yes, that was
Okay.
by, that was the record player song.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was in what like a one breath challenge that was going around, and I
Mhm.
remember scrolling and thinking, "I hate this app, I'm not getting any traction," and then I found that someone doing that, and I was like, "That's a cool thing, maybe I could try it," and I was, like, sitting on my couch practicing it, went to the bathroom in the mirror to film it in the mirror because the girl had done that, and I
Mhm.
was like, "This is an easy thing to do," and I was in my pajamas, didn't have any makeup on. I had put so much effort into the videos before that too, so it was so funny how it works and,
You're
like,
not
what
the
takes
first person
off,
that have said that. That
right? Like,
it's like the one that
amazing.
you're just like, "Whatever, I'm just gonna throw the paint at the wall," and then it works
Yeah, it was
out.
like the last, like, "Oh, I'm just gonna try it." And, yeah, it just ever since then and thankfully, it's thanks like, I'm very grateful that that was the one that took off because the rest of the videos have been a lot more low maintenance than it would have been had my very
Yeah, you have a
difficult
full production and you're like, "Shit, now I gotta do all these things
Yeah,
to try to get this next video to
yeah.
look good."
I'm very grateful for my niche, yeah. Um, but yeah, but I'll circle back to that,
Yeah, I'm curious about this whole thing with
so,
COVID.
yes,
Okay.
so I always knew I wanted to do music, but I think a lot of don't think I'm alone in it, but a lot of people at that age of, like, applying to college and figuring out what you want to do and want to focus on in life, you
Mhm.
kind of fall into that trap of what's sensible. What am I gonna get a job out of? Like, what should I do that's gonna be a smart path for me that, like, takes little risk and I was in a very
Yeah, it's
high
so,
pressure.
it's there's, like, no guarantees whatsoever in anything
Exactly,
creative, right? I mean,
exactly. It's
it's
a
all
big
subjective. Does anyone care? And
exactly.
they
It's a big
could.
risk. And a lot of it's luck and timing, and a lot of it's just perseverance and continuing on the path despite the fact that you're getting little feedback and just trusting yourself.
Mhm.
Um, so I was very scared of that, and throughout my high school experience, I was in quite a high pressure high school, like, there was a lot of just external, like, you have to make very smart, sensible decisions and, get all A's and get the best scores on all of these standardized testing, and, like, it was just a very tricky environment to want to do anything creative as a career. It was
Mhm.
very much encouraged as a hobby, but not as a career. So I was actually set to go to UCLA for neuroscience. Very different
Wow.
what
Oh
I'm
my
doing
gosh, that is very
now.
different.
Yes.
Are your parents
Um,
in that field of sort?
no.
Oh.
No. No, it's just something that I'm still very interested in, and I'm minoring in NYU. Like, I'm still taking classes on that. I still love it very much, but I was meant to be going down that path, which was much more sensible.
Mhm.
Um, and I requested a gap year from UCLA because partially I just wanted to focus on music for a year and not have to worry about making a sensible career just yet, but also because we were in the middle of COVID.
Okay,
And
so
I
COVID was already in you were that had already
yeah,
happened
it was
once.
like
Yeah, so
March.
they're probably like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, we don't want you to come over here from another country, we're good."
they denied it.
Oh, they did?
They
No way.
denied it. So that was where I was like, "Oh, no. What am I gonna do?"
Like,
And,
"Well,
like
going to
yeah,
LA."
I was in London, they weren't offering campus housing, if I remember correctly, so I was in London, I was gonna be, like, you know, 8 hours behind, and it was COVID ridden, and I didn't I really didn't in my heart, did not wanna do that. And so I was kind of faced with that decision of, do you go to school, focus on neuroscience for 4 plus years, because I was probably gonna end up doing some sort of further education after that,
Mhm.
and give up music, or do I withdraw from the only school that I've committed to? Like, it was the only path that I was set on. Do I completely throw that away? It's a very good school too, so it was very
Yeah.
nerve-wracking. Um, and do I just put everything into music? And I entertained the idea of both for a while, mainly for the sanity of my parents, but I
Yeah, you're like, "Well, I'm in
definitely
LA, maybe you could do some things,"
exactly,
you know? It's not
exactly,
like
like,
you're in
it's
the middle of nowhere.
possible exactly, but I ultimately chose not to and to take the gap year, and I'm so grateful I did. I'm so, so grateful I did because I would not have the platform that I do now. I wouldn't have Clive Davis and, like, it was just the perfect decision, and I
Mhm.
felt it at the time, but I didn't know. It was a really big risk, um, and that gap year was just amazing despite COVID. It
Okay.
was really great.
Yeah, so you take a gap year, and then at that decision, it's just how do you decide then, "Okay, I'm gonna go all in," and music? Was it just, "I gotta post every day on social media," like, "I gotta write a bunch of songs," like, do you
Pretty
have, like,
much.
a to plan
I was
out
writing
your
like
thing?
crazy. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm definitely I struggle making my own schedule more than I'd like to admit, just because I really like to have someone to keep me accountable on those things, so it was tricky that year,
Mhm.
but I just tried to get in the studio as much as possible, um, and I had this friend of mine. I did this writing camp right before I graduated, at Peter Gabriel's studios out in
Wow.
like, just outside of Bath, and
Mhm.
I met some really incredible producers and engineers there, and one of them introduced me to this other guy out in Bath, Ed Graves, who I wrote and he produced my entire first EP, um, and
The
that
one that's
was
coming out next month.
my last
Oh,
EP.
the last CP, the one that you
Yes,
just yeah,
yes.
okay, sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that came out a long time ago. It's been a
Yeah,
while
The
since I've
Story
released it.
Begins, that one?
That's the one.
Okay.
And so he co-wrote everything with me and produced all of it, and we just had such a blast. It was so fun and rewarding, and I was going through a really rough breakup, so it was just everything I needed.
Mhm.
Um, and so that was kind of how I tried to fill as much of my time as possible with, and then the rest of it was posting every day at multiple times if I could on each platform. Um, Really trying to make a plan for live shows and things like that that I couldn't do during COVID. Um, and just, trying to write as much as possible on my own as well and trying to make the most of my time with nothing else to do.
Mhm.
And it was great. I mean, it was back when TikTok and Instagram and YouTube were all paying pretty well, and TikTok's changed a bit, but I was able to, like, make a living off of it, and that's where I really realized, okay, like, not a full living, but it was where I was like, "I can do this, like, this I
Yeah,
can make
yeah.
money off this is possible." And then I went to school at NYU, and that was just an extension of everything I'd been doing. It all worked out exactly as I wanted it to, so it was just very rewarding. The whole year was very rewarding.
That is amazing. So you record that first EP, you had those songs, and you go and work with this producer at Peter Gabriel's studio, and, at that point, were you playing shows, or you just like, "I have these songs, I wanna just get them out there," and you just put them up on Spotify, or, like, what And you did it all independently? Like, kinda tell me about, like, what was the, plan there as
Yeah.
far as, like, trying was it like, "Let's just get this out and try to see what happens?" Was that I don't I'm
Yeah, it was definitely a stepping stone. It was a very
okay.
much like, let's see where we're at. Let's test the waters. Let's put something out there so people have something to listen to. And a few of them had gained a little bit of traction on social media, nothing major or viral, but a few people had kind of picked up on originals coming. And so it felt like there was a place for it. And I held on to the songs for a while
Mhm.
and I released them my sophomore year in college
At when
and
you were going to NYU at this point?
at NYU, yeah.
Okay.
I
How did
held
you
on to
get
them
into
for
that school? Like, I mean, to be going to UCLA for neuroscience, and then now you're at
It's true.
NYU at Clive Davis, which is another school that's not easy to get into at all. Like, you must have had to go through some audition process that way as well?
Yeah. They do like like an application where you do a video and you have to fill out all these different things, do some essays, you have to make like a playlist. I just reapplied during the gap year. So it was like
Okay.
I hadn't applied the first year. So it was the first time applying. And I remember, I mean, I was spending so much time in the studio that I didn't have a ton of time to put towards the video and the application itself. And so I remember just kind of trying to put together a video that looked professional and looked good because you can find people's ones on YouTube.
Mhm.
And I was watching and they all looked so professional and just looked really cool. And so many of them were advanced in so many different ways that I was just trying to show what I had that was unique. And so a lot of the clips I did were like pieces from the studio and like clips of originals, and then some were just me talking. And there was actually one video I had to do that you had to talk about something you were interested in that wasn't music. So that's when
Oh.
I told my whole neuroscience story. And so I was really just
Oh,
trying to
okay.
make myself stand out in some sort of
Mhm.
way. Um, and thankfully I got it. I'm
That's
very,
so
like,
cool, yeah.
very grateful to be here. But it
You just
was
send the clip of you have with all the viral clip from TikTok, like, "Here's my video submission."
well, at the time when I applied, nothing had gone viral yet.
Oh, okay.
I had nothing to, like, show for my
Wow.
socials, so I showed a little bit of the covers for quarantine, and I was, like,
Mhm.
showing, like, I've grown my audience from 200 to 2,000, but I didn't have over 1,000,000, like, that wasn't until I was already
Here
in and
or in
accepted
school.
and yeah.
Okay.
So it was very lucky. They saw something and I'm glad they did. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
wow. I mean, that you I'm just looking I love that you have I mean, you've grown all your social media. I mean, you have, like, 1,000,000 plus on TikTok and hundreds of thousands on Instagram, and even, like, YouTube, you have the play button, like, that's
I'm so
so
excited right
rad,
now.
like, that's the coolest thing ever.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, I just think that's so amazing. And so going was it hard, like, when you started doing the covers and kind of sprinkling in your own music? And then at what point do you end up just going like, I'm just going to pretty much just do all originals now? Were you afraid of like your fan base not, staying, there, or
Yeah.
maybe they were just like, oh, I love your covers, but oh, okay, you're not doing covers anymore. You're not doing as many, so
There was definitely
yeah,
that for sure.
okay,
Um, and I still do covers because as much as I am an artist, I'm also a content creator, and I feel like they followed me, and I'm so grateful that they did that I should give them things that they want.
hmm
So I'm trying to kind of keep that up while also saying, "Here's my music," without being too aggressive with it. There was a big learning curve that happened with that first EP of I was only posting original content
okay,
and original songs, and I just wasn't gaining the traction that I was with the covers, and it helps to kind of sprinkle them in and keep people excited about the covers as well, just because that's what they signed up for, and I can't ask them to listen to my own music if that's not what they wanna do, so I try to do covers, and I also do the panning videos where it changes from ear to ear, and so I try to
Mhm.
sprinkle in things that, like, I know that they like, and then I also in terms of, like, a marketing strategy, a lot of the time I'll try to, like, incorporate panning in my originals, or I'll sing in the mirror, like, I'll just sing my song a cappella like I do the covers and stuff like that. So, I try to kind of blend my content so it feels like one
Mhm.
without being, too much of
Yeah,
one.
it's not like, "This is just my song, and then here now this is what the
Exactly.
cover," and yeah,
Yeah.
everything's pretty, like,
Yeah, it's gotta make sense.
uniform. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Well, tell me about the EP then. So when do you start
I'm so
working on
excited.
this new one?
Yes, I'm so excited. So I've been working on this for the last some of the songs have been in the works for, like, 3 years. Not in the works,
Wow.
but I've been holding on to for, like, 3 years. So I'm so ready to be,
Have it
received
out
by
there.
people, and yeah, I'm so excited to hear what people think. Um, All the Best was the first single off that
Mhm,
album, and I had been waiting to put that one out, knowing that that was one of my favorites off of the EP for so long. Like, I was just so excited for that to be a part of the world. Um, and it's different than the first EP. It's a little more edgy, it's a little more petty, it's a little
mhm,
more mature in other ways as well. And the name of the EP is Not in a Dollhouse Anymore. So
mhm.
I kind of wanted it to be that feeling of we're growing up. I hate the term coming of age, but that's kind of what it is. It's like this, I'm growing up and I'm not playing in a dollhouse anymore. It's also not fully real life just yet. We're still like playing house. We're in between the 2.
Mhm.
Um, and I think a lot of the songs reflect that in different ways. So each song kind of stands for its own thing as part of that process of growing up. Um, and these songs are kind of based on the last 3 years of my life. And so it was really tricky to pick which ones were on it and what to kind of get rid of. It's kind of like killing your babies a little bit, but
Yeah. How
I'm
many
really
songs
excited.
total did you have to, like, sift through? Quite a few, I'd imagine.
I mean, about 50.
Wow.
It was just I was in the studio so much, and I was writing so much, and I was feeling so many emotions that
Mhm.
I just had so many to kind of sift through, and I have to pick 6. Like, it was so hard.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'll probably come out with more from that
A
kind of
deluxe.
the 50. Yeah, I'll probably bring out more later. But I All the Best was kind of the first one because it just comes out with a kick. It's
Mhm.
different, it's a little funny, it's a little, like, quirky and cute, and it's empowering in other ways. I went into that session and I just felt so horrible. I had just gotten this, like, really nasty text from my ex, basically saying that I was posting about him and I shouldn't be posting about him when the songs I was posting weren't about him. So it was
Right.
just this really,
It's
like,
not all
nasty.
about you, bro.
Yeah, right? Right.
It's
It was just yeah, it was really, nasty, and I was feeling so sick to my stomach about it, and I went into the session, and they were like, "What do you wanna write about?" And I was like, "I got this text," and they were like, read it out to us." So, we kind of based it on that text, and he had signed it off saying, "Wishing you all the best." And
That's good.
it was
Like,
so
this is
passive
about you
aggressive,
now.
it was and so we just kind of took it and ran with it, and I left that room feeling so happy and so just, like, relieved in a way and just inspired and empowered, and I was so excited about, like, just what we made out of something so horrible.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like each song on this album kind of has a sprinkle of that in the
Okay.
same way, so and
And the
in
next
another
one you're
way,
yeah,
it's
Loves Me Like LA is the next was the one that
yes,
you put out
next
prior to
one,
the one that's gonna be out when this comes out,
yes.
and
Yeah.
okay.
Loves Me Like LA is kind of the first love song I've put out that's about me, or that's from my perspective.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just happy, and I feel like if my younger self heard it, she would just cry of, like, joy. It's really the music I feel like All the Best was the music that I wanted to make at that time Loves
Mhm.
Me Like LA is the music that, like, my 12-year-old self really wanted to accomplish on that garage band session. So,
Okay.
it's
I love
healing
that.
my inner self, and it was very summery, and it just felt right to be the next single. Um, and I was also gonna be in LA when it came out, so it was just all so perfect. It worked together so nicely. And In Another Life is
I love
definitely
that one. That's the one that I the one that had the sound called Nika too, I think. Right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
great song. I
definitely
love the
different.
intro, the guitar.
It was when Phil started I wrote it with Phil Cook and Fia Brennan, and when Phil started playing that guitar, I was like, "This is what we're doing."
Yeah, it's
And
rad.
I had just read, a Taylor Jenkins Reid book called Maybe in Another Life,
Mhm.
and it was just everything I needed to hear when I was going through the thick of my breakup. Um, and it's basically this story of 2 parallel love stories that happen as a result of, like, a single decision made in the first chapter by the main character. And I won't spoil it too much, but she kind of you watch her go in and out. There's still the same characters around her, but she's having very different lives.
Mhm.
And I just remember feeling very at peace when I reached the end of the book, and it wasn't what I was expecting. And I kind of reflected back and thought, "You know what? Maybe we're just in another life," and maybe that's denial, but maybe we're just in another life, and it's not for this space and time, and that's fine, and I just walked away feeling much better about everything, and that was kind of what that song is about, is it's a little sadder than that, but to me, there's kind of that glimmer of acceptance, um, just that light at the end of the tunnel,
Mhm.
and done in
And it's more like it's not like a sad song. I mean, when you listen
exactly.
to it, right? It's
Exactly. It's
upbeat
upbeat
and
and
poppy and
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, and it's a little darker and a little more edgy and kind of fun in that way,
Mhm.
um, and it's got kind of that swung tone, so it's really it's fun. It's very fun, and it was really, really rewarding writing that, um, and I just love the 2 of them so much. They were so fun to write with that day. We were just having a blast, and there's this video I just posted on my Instagram of, like, us trying out the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song
Uh,
against our chorus and stuff. We were just having so much fun. So that's a special one to me, and it felt right to be the 3rd single, before the EP.
I
It's
love
just
it. And
coming
then
out
the EP is
together.
the next release after
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And are
So
you doing were a lot of these songs written while you were in New York, or was it kind of all over the place? I mean, you mentioned being in LA when Loves Me Like LA came out.
yes. All of the songs that we wrote were written in London.
Oh, they are?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, but kind of with, like, trips that I took back to London. Like, I was living in New York at the time. I
Got
just
it.
really liked the collaborators out there, and I really liked working with certain people over and over and over again, and we just started to make really great music, so I kept going back, and I just
Got
kept
it.
doing these little trips. Um, but, yeah, the last few songs on the EP, one of them I wrote a long time ago, like 3.5 years ago, and the other 2 are more recent. So, I'm excited to kind of see what gets the most positive feedback and just
Mhm.
to see what people connect with, because some of the music I feel a lot more connected to now as me, just personally, than I did, back then. I
3
was
years ago, or yeah,
really
when
yeah, really sad, and now I'm really happy, so it's I'm excited to see what people connect with the most. Um, and I'm excited for those sad songs to kind of take on a new meaning once people start to listen and relate.
awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing this,
you.
Isabel. This has been awesome.
Thank you. It
You're
was so lovely to
awesome.
meet you.
Yeah, your songs are great. I can't wait to hear the full EP when it comes out in a month or so. And I have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Ooh. Um, I would say it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I mean that in the sense of you can't just wake up one day and run a marathon. There's months of training that goes into that. There's preparation, there's practice, there's a lot of days where you wake up and you practice and you're a little bit worse than the day before, and that's okay. and being a little bit further behind on one day means that maybe someday you can take those extra steps forward, and just persevering with that and continuing despite what you hear from other people and just trusting yourself that you can do it, um, and work towards that marathon.
Bringing it backward.